Miami Hurricanes made a bold move in the recruitment of Jeremiah Smith. Will it pay off? Can they flip him from Ohio State? We'll get Canes recruiting insider Azubi Charles on to talk all about Smith. But there's also a big visit weekend that took place over the weekend in Coral Gables for Miami's final home game. We'll break all that down. But first, Miami fans, subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We're almost to 25K. We need you guys to help get us there. So hit subscribe for me, please. Okay, let's bring on Azubi Charles from Canes Sport. Now, we're going to get into the flip of Jeremiah Smith in a minute, but let's talk about a few guys that were on campus this weekend that, you know, Miami is really heavily involved with. And one of them is defensive lineman LJ McCrae, the number one defensive lineman in America, committed to the UF about a month ago. Are the Canes still a threat to flip him between now and National Signing Day? What are you hearing?
Yeah, it was a pretty big recruiting weekend down in Miami with a bunch of guys coming, like you mentioned, LJ McCrae. I have to say, I think it's going to take a really, really, big push or something very drastic to happen for Miami to flip LJ McCrae. I spoke with him before the game and after the game, and, he kind of told me, hey, I'm really here to support Zay Mincy on this visit. Obviously, Miami is still recruiting me. They said they're not going to stop recruiting me until pen hits paper, but they do respect my decision. I kind of asked him, hey, what do you want to see from Miami today? Did you see anything that kind of changed your mind? He said no. He said the Hurricanes are still a very good team that he really likes. He has a great relationship with the coaching staff, but right now he's firmly committed to Florida. And like I said, I feel like something drastic would have to happen for LJ and McCrae to flip that commitment from Florida to Miami. But Miami's not going to stop recruiting him to the very end, and he knows that. And, we're just going to have to see if anything happens in the next few months when National Signing Day gets here.
Yeah, Miami having a rough go of it with defensive line recruiting, but like you said, they're not going to give up on him until the pen hits the paper. Now, his teammate, though, Zay Mincy, one of the top uncommitted prospects in America, number 60 overall, the number 4 ranked safety. So what are your sources saying about where the Canes stand after the visit with Mincy?
Yeah, so this is a bit of a different situation than LJ McCrae's because, Zay Mincy's currently silently committed to a program and won't announce that official decision until January 6th at the Under Armour All-American game. But Miami's still very much in the thick of things with Zay Mincy. He came back to Miami this weekend, like we mentioned, for the game against Louisville. Although Miami didn't come out with the win, he was still very impressed with what he saw from the Hurricanes on and off the field. He spoke with the staff after the game, specifically defensive backs coach Jamil Adai, who's really been leading that push for him. And their conversations were really, really good. He's impressed with Miami. He loves their message. But it's really going to be a 4-team race between Alabama, Florida, Florida State, and Miami. And we won't know till January 6th. But I think Miami's really, really still in the thick of things here. I know he's listed as a safety, but he's been talking to Miami about playing cornerback. And Coach Adai has kind of done a great job of sending guys to the league. He got 2 guys drafted at defensive back from Miami last year and a few guys at Georgia as well. So Miami's really, really in the mix for Mincy. And I think they're going to be making a really strong push at the end and going to be a team to watch for when January 6th comes.
Yep, they've got him on campus a bunch, so we'll see what happens. I don't think this is the last development with Zay Mincy's recruitment, but it's good to hear where the Canes stand after that big visit. Now, let's talk about Jeremiah Smith. He was not on campus on Saturday, but on Sunday, the Canes offered his high school quarterback, Cedric Bailey from Chaminade Madonna Prep, committed to NC State since March. So about 9-10 months he's been committed to NC State, and now the offer comes in. So Azubi, am I reading this wrong? Is Miami really looking for a QB, or is this a play to land the number 1 wide receiver in the country?
So this is a very interesting situation that's been brewing for a while. Miami was kind of flirting with Bailey a little bit during the summer, but never officially offered him. And kind of now Miami's, making that play at Cedric Bailey. And obviously you have to think that's going to try to, help their chance with Jeremiah Smith. But to me, it kind of didn't make sense for them not to offer him a while ago. He's been one of the top quarterbacks in South Florida. This year he's throwing for 2,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, so I believe 4 interceptions. So he's a very talented guy, and I think very highly of him. Obviously, Miami staff does now, but I definitely do think this is kind of a little bit of a play to get Jeremiah Smith. But obviously, you can't just completely say, hey, we're just recruiting this kid to get his teammate up. He's a talented player. And Miami, has 1 quarterback committed in the class right now, Jed Anderson. But they've always, had their eye on other guys. So it does make a little bit of sense to offer him. He's a local guy. He's been winning since he was 11 years old in South Florida. So then why not extend that offer? You already have 2 of his teammates committed. You're chasing a third one and himself. So, it makes sense for them to target Cedric Bailey at Chaminade Madonna.
Yeah, and we'll see if it works. I don't know if it will work. It seems like it's a little late in the game to be making this move, but hey, Miami fans, in the comment section below, is this a brilliant move or desperate move? Let me know, comment section. All right, one last guy we got to hit on, and that's wide receiver JoJo Trader. Been a solid commitment for Miami since he pledged over the summer. Now, he's saying he's going to take a few visits between now and National Signing Day. One, do you believe him? Do you think he'll actually take these visits? Because he's kind of alluded to this in the past, but hasn't really taken them. And two, is there any concern here for Miami fans?
Yeah, so you never want to see one of your top commits taking official visits near signing day, but Trader recently reassured to our guys over at Kane Sport that he's 100% committed to the University of Miami at the moment. He did say when he first announced his pledge to Miami back in the summer that he would plan on taking official visits because he did not take any in the summer due to some family issues. So I do think he will take these visits in December, kind of leading up to signing day. Obviously, like I said, you don't want to see one of your top guys, out there looking at other programs. But I do think Trader is still locked in with the Hurricanes. And, I do credit wide receiver coach Kevin Beard for this. He's really been, really pushing for him since he arrived in Miami in the spring and really, established a great relationship with him. And, they have Zaquan Patterson committed, his fellow teammate. They have two of his best friends in Chance Robinson and Ryan Mack committed as well. So a lot of things are pointing towards he's going to stay at Miami, but it's definitely going to be something that we watch out for as we lean up to National Signing Day.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think JoJo's kind of done and said all the right things up to this point. If he does take a couple visits, I don't think there's much to be concerned about, but we'll see if this move for Jeremiah Smith pays off. Azubi Charles from Kane Sport, thanks for dropping by today on the Inside Scoop.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.